Hi everyone, James here from F9 Audio and the Freemasons, and today I think I've got something really special to show you. This sample pack contains the playing and performances of one of the UK's finest and first call trumpet players, Ben Edwards. Throughout the years, Ben has played with the likes of Amy Winehouse, Mark Ronson, Robbie Williams, Basement Jaxx, John Newman, George Ezra and Groove Armada, and as a touring musician he's been in the Basement Jaxx live band for the last 11 years and in Robbie Williams' touring band for the last 4. Now you do not get to that kind of level without being at the absolute top of your game, and we're incredibly lucky to have secured this selection of recordings for the production community. Now time is always precious, so let's dive straight in and let me show you what you can get out of this incredible sample pack. So, as many of you know, I'm a professional producer myself, and with all of the F9 packs and all of the material, we're looking for the best possible way to present this for the end producer. And with a solo instrument like the trumpet, we find that it's best to have it all kind of pre-chopped and set up ready for you to fire in on your MIDI keyboard, and that's exactly what all of the DAW editions of this pack allow you to do. Let me give you a quick example using a keyboard controller. Now, not everyone uses MIDI keyboards, so here I'm just going to show you exactly the same kind of thing on push, and also utilising some of the controls that are available within the Ableton Live racks that come with this pack. So let's give all this some context in terms of a production, and I've got a house track underway here. I've already put some riffs in at this part that I'm moving around at the bottom, but now in the second half I'm going to add a couple of solo sections. Now, that for me is a perfect example of this sample pack in action. Ben knows exactly how to play to fit across modern minor key electronic productions, and we've got a whole range of riffs from short staccato bits, as you heard there, to long fluid solos, but never stepping the wrong side of the jazz line. Now, just while we're here, I'm going to play you certain parts of the backing track for a moment. This sample pack is not just the trumpets. After many requests from the F9 users, we've included all of the drums, the effects, the synths and the keys that are in the main audio demos, and I've actually stripped some of them out here and just added a new bass line from Tone 2's fantastic new Icarus synth. If you guys haven't checked this out yet, do go and have a look at it. I think they're onto an absolute belter here. Now, of course, that doesn't mean you have to use this pack just in house music. Playing like this will fit across a whole variety of genres. And let's go for something completely different. Let's hear it in action in something slightly more filmic. Now, you may see me using a lot of the contact instruments, but we've also formatted all of the menu patches that we're using here for the built-in soft samplers for the supported DAWs. So that's ESX24 for Logic, Presence XT for Studio One, and Simpler for Ableton Live, including live racks. And just in case you're wondering, all of the core samples are provided completely dry. So you have complete control over the overall sound, but obviously solo instruments like this just lap up long delays and reverbs. Now, obviously, we've also added sampler menus for all of the drum and percussion sounds within the pack. But I do just want to quickly show you one of my favourite additional sampler patches. We went through all the music in the pack and pulled out anything that could be seen as a one-shot and tuned them all to one key and laid them out across the keyboard. So that gives you this brilliant menu of bits that just fire in over your productions in a given key. Now, if you are a Kontakt user, you can really have some fun with these patches because they're all set to lock to tempo. All of the phrases will actually lock out to the tempo that you're at. So this track was recorded at 126 and it's playing back like so. Even though the original tempo of these recordings was at 116. Now, if I change Logic's tempo, this is originally 126, so let's go down to something like 66. Now, add some transposition to that and you'll be amazed what you can get out of this. And it never ceases to amaze me just how much punishment brass instruments take from a time stretch engine. You can really go to town with this. So a great additional feature. And if you're using Ableton Live 9.5, there are additional racks that are using the warped functionality within Simpler that will do a similar thing. Now, so you can see the value in this pack, let me run through its specs. Its core library that is available in every version, including the standard WAV pack, is 1.9 gig in size, and that contains over 500 horn licks and solo loops. That also includes muted trumpet samples and flugelhorn samples, which have a softer, rounder tone. There's also 76 horn hit and effects loops, which we'll come to later on. And the rest of the pack is taken up with the drums, the music, and all of the bits that you're hearing in the demos, and much more. All of the details of this are coming up on your screen at the moment. Within the deluxe DAW versions, there are also 21 of the horn menu instruments that we've been using here, containing literally hundreds and hundreds of samples, all mapped out in a specific key at specific tempos across a MIDI controller. There's 5 of the one-shot menus that I showed you earlier, tuned to the keys that we're using within this pack, 6 horn effects and stab menus, and 7 drum menus that contain the 154 drum sounds that we're including. So just one thing before we go. Over the years, and pretty much ever since the Jazz Age, the trumpet has been abused by its players and some crazy noises have been gotten out of it and ended up on classic recordings. This pack contains a whole series of hits, pows, trills, tremolos, shakes, all sorts. We've pre-processed them with some reverbs, delays and some vinyl grunge, and they're great fun to play around with. Just before we completed the final zips for this pack, we were actually working on some electric funk material and tried the trumpet over the top of it. It worked beautifully, so I'm going to play you that back now. But please bear in mind, we've added all the music that you're about to hear from this production as a little bonus inside every version of this release. So thanks for watching this walkthrough of Blast featuring Ben Edwards. It's been an absolute pleasure to put this sample pack together, and we hope you guys actually create something stunning with it. If you ever need any support for any F9 products, please feel free to email us at info@f9-audio.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.